welcome to Meal Planning Club. I am your host for the club, and I am trying to do this live with my phone horizontal, and am just trying to get you guys set up. Okay, so apologies for the hand in your face. Welcome to Meal Planning Club. Welcome, welcome. This is my weekly live video where I meal plan with you all. And in today's video specifically, it's gonna be a couple different things. So instead of doing my own meal plan along with you all, I am gonna walk you through the steps and kind of like teach my process for how I enjoy meal planning. So it should be a little bit of a shorter video this week. Also, it is Friday afternoon and there's Tonks. Isn't she adorable? She's probably gonna come over here and start eating. So if you hear a bunch of crunching, it's the kitty eating her lunch. Okay, so it's Friday afternoon. My goal is to probably do these consistently on Saturday mornings because I think that that's probably when a lot of people may be doing their meal planning. But let me know in the comments when you like to meal plan or when you would like to see this live video scheduled. Next week I'm going to do Sunday instead of Saturday, and then from there forward, I will plan to do Saturday mid-mornings until I get enough comments from people that different times work, and in which case, you know, we'll just go with the flow with that. So if you are trying to become more consistent with meal planning, joining our meal planning club every week could be a great way to have that kind of accountability and you know, be with a community of people all meal planning together. Now, this does not mean that we are all going to be cooking the same meals throughout the week or anything, but we can all put together our unique meal plans. You can see other people doing it, and then if you have any questions, need some meal ideas, feel like there's like some ingredients that you would really like to use up and you're not sure how to do that, then you can ask and get immediate answers to your meal planning questions. So the goal of Meal Planning Club is for all of us to leave with a meal plan for the next week to reduce stress and increase the amount of joy we feel whenever we get into the kitchen for each mealtime. Alrighty, so let's get started meal planning. Now, I always like to use some type of meal planning tool. And if you don't have a meal planning guide already that you enjoy using, at the link in the description box, you can download this one that I put together. You can print it out. And yes, I did use legal size paper in order to fit the days and have a little bit more space, but you can totally print it on normal letter paper, or you can use it right on your computer. So maybe you keep it as like a desktop icon. That way you can really quickly and easily access that meal plan. And each week you just, you know, overwrite with your new meals. But this meal plan guide is a link in the description if you want to download that. So some type of meal planning guide. You may also have something on your phone that you already like to use, or it's built into like a calendar on your fridge or somewhere like that. And then a daily planner, your calendar. Also, this might be on your phone. Something that will show you what commitments you have coming up in the coming week. And you'll want to make sure it's on the right week. I was on this current week instead of next week. So this way, as you are planning your meals, you can plan them in a way that's very realistic. In my opinion, there's not much worse than putting together a meal plan, going grocery shopping, getting a lot of delicious fresh foods, and then not actually having the time to cook very many of those meals. And that's gonna cause you more stress because you're like, oh no, I'm not executing what I planned to, number one. And number two, some of that nice fresh produce might go bad before you have a time to cook it, which is so sad. So that's why I say always have your calendar for the upcoming week or the week that you are planning for available so that you can reference it and figure out when you will have time to cook and when you need to plug in convenience meals. So that brings us perfectly to actually getting started. Now, what I like to do, what I always like to advise my clients to do, is to look through your calendar and highlight in green the meals or days within your week where you will have plenty of time to cook. So highlight it in green, or if you don't have different colored highlighters, you could put like a star or a symbol that makes sense to you. And then anywhere, any like meal time that looks like, oh my goodness, I'm not gonna have very much time to cook, like as quick and simple as possible is gonna be what I wanna go for. I like highlighting that in orange or red, or you can, use another symbol. If you used a star for meals when you have a lot of time, maybe you use like a hashtag symbol, or I don't know, like a frowny face. Maybe not a frowny face, that sounds kind of sad. Come up with a symbol that makes sense for you. A big, maybe like a C for convenience food or something like that. To plug that in. And then that way, whenever you look at your meal plan, before you have any meals in there even, you can very quickly see like, okay, there's a lot of green. I'm gonna have a lot of time to cook this week. Or there's a lot of orange. I'm gonna really need to find several convenience food options to fill in for my week. Now, don't stress about the term convenience food. Convenience does not just mean driving through the closest fast food place or anything like that. There are a lot of different foods that you can like utilize for these convenience meals. For example, if you make a large casserole or a large pot of soup, then you can save those leftovers and you can either eat them, this week, or you can save them in Tupperware or food storage containers in your freezer, and then in future weeks, whenever you have a situation where you need a convenience food, then you can, pull those food storage containers out of the freezer, let it thaw, and then there you go. You just reheat it, and there is your meal. Same with like a casserole or anything like that. And if you have so let's say you make a pot of soup that could feed 12 people, and there are 3 of you eating soup, at a time. So the night you make it, you'll eat the first 3 servings, right? And then you're gonna have 9 more servings left over. I like freezing that in groups of 3 then, so that number one, it will take less time for the whole thing to freeze and then later thaw, because smaller portions are gonna thaw quicker. Also, then that sets you up for 3 different convenience meals, and you can spread that out over a couple months even if you wanted to. Whereas if you put it all in one big, large container together, once you thaw it, then you're gonna be committed to eating that multiple times to eat through it. Because ideally, you are not thawing and refreezing your food. It's best to freeze it once and then thaw it and eat it as quickly as possible. Okay, so eating up leftovers, whether those are fresh or stocking your freezer with leftovers, is a great convenience food option. Another really good one, in my opinion, is going to like the deli section. So when you're grocery shopping, there are sometimes some really great meal kits already put together, or like deli salads, and then like already cooked chicken, And so you can piecemeal that together to make a meal, and pretty much all you're doing is reheating those things that the grocery store has already fully cooked and cooled for you. So any type of like meal prep kit, deli prepped, usually they're, you know, in like tin foil, kind of like grab and go. Those can be great convenience food options, along with like creating your own little meal prep kits. So if you have extra time on Sunday to be doing some meal prep stuff, then you could totally slice and dice vegetables and put that in a food storage container along with whatever protein. Well, okay, so the veggies are in their own food storage container, and then you have whatever protein you're planning to prepare with that. If you will not have time on the night of this convenience meal, then you could cook that ahead of time and cool it and save that. Or if it's, you know, raw or whatever, you could save that in a food storage container that's probably separate from the vegetables. You don't want cross-contamination there. And then maybe you enjoy eating a lot of rice with your meals. You could make a relatively large pot of rice and then put those in separate food storage containers and be able to quickly reheat that. Maybe you even create like a stir fry or fried rice with leftover rice, some of those vegetables, and leftovers of a protein that you cooked for something else. Fried rice is a great catch-all meal is what I call it. Catch-all meals are those meals that, sure, they could have a recipe, but also they can be so delicious with so many different ingredients, and they're a really great way to use up leftover parts and pieces from other stuff throughout the week. So like a minestrone soup is another example, or omelets like for breakfast. Yes, egg prices being what they are, maybe an omelet could be a more expensive option, but if maybe you have chickens at home or something, so you have just a ton of eggs. So omelets can definitely be a great way to use up leftover, like you have like just a spear or two of asparagus left, right? It's not enough to make a whole side dish, but you can totally shave that up or chop it and put it in an omelet or fried rice or whatever else. So if you have any questions about, ooh, I have this ingredient left over that I would really like to use up, let me know in the comments and I can try to help you with some meal ideas about how to use that up. I am so passionate about reducing our food waste, and I really feel like with some extra planning, actually, I mean, I don't even know if extra planning, just with a little bit of planning, a little bit of anticipation of the leftovers, it can actually be really easy and way less stressful to be able to eat up all of that food before it goes bad. Okay, so I know I went on a bit of a tangent there with examples of convenience foods, but hopefully that helps you so that if you are looking at your meal plan and you are seeing a lot of orange, you don't stress out with, oh my goodness, how am I gonna make so many meals with so little time? I hope that those ideas have given you a springboard, and then you can fill it in with whatever options sound the best to you, like, or the most exciting and or the most like achievable for you. So once I have my meal plan with when I have a lot of time to cook and when I don't have any time to cook, then I start thinking through, are there any leftover ingredients in the fridge, pantry, or freezer that I would really like to use up? And if so, then I will start picking out meal ideas based off of those ingredients specifically. And if you're looking for other places to get meal inspiration, what my favorite is like seasonal produce and what ingredients are like especially flavorful in the season. And if you like to like be updated on what's like best to cook with this month and stuff like that. Every month, the first day of the month, I always post a little graphic on my Instagram, which I will go ahead and figure out how to tag that in the description, hopefully. If not, I think just search at Chefate, Chefate on Instagram, and you can go back through and look at the beginning of each month what some good seasonal produce is to cook with. I live in Colorado, so the Rocky Mountain region of the United States is really where most of this produce is pretty good for. If you live anywhere in the US, it'll probably be relatively similar. Yeah, we have such a good, well-connected food supply chain anymore that you can access a lot of ingredients a lot of times throughout the year. But I just find oftentimes you can get either more locally grown stuff, right, during specific months, and or whatever you do buy will have a little more complexity or depth of flavor. So if I have a choice, I'm always gonna choose the more flavorful of something. So that's why for me, seasonal produce is always a great inspiration point. Of course, you can use Pinterest, or if you have cookbooks at home and you flip through and find something that you really love, and ask me here also. I would love to be a resource to you to help you come up with new meals. Another idea that, as far as I know, I don't know anybody doing this, but I'm sure there are people out there who do, is you can start a shared spreadsheet with some of your friends and family, especially the ones who you love the similar types of food, and everyone can put their favorite meal ideas on a sheet together, and then that way whenever you're like, oh, I don't know what I want to cook, that could be a really cool resource to go and look at, and you can be like, oh my god, yeah, my auntie's soup of some kind, that's a great idea, let me make that. So that's a fun one. If you want to create a little bit more community around your meal planning, you could always start a shared spreadsheet like that with friends or family. And well, just to give you guys a little glimpse, I'm actually working on doing something like that through Chefate for all of you. But there's some tech stuff that I still need to figure out. So TBD, this might actually be a little bit too early to announce it, but we're live, so I don't think I can go back. So find out more information later whenever I actually have it ready to share. But yeah, a shared spreadsheet of meal ideas is on the horizon. Okay, I'm being very tangenty today, but there aren't any questions in the chat or anything, so if you do have any questions, be sure to add them to the chat. Okay, we talked about identifying which dates you have plenty of time to cook, which dates need convenience foods, finding inspiration for the meals that you are going to cook. And so now you can really start going through and plugging in which meals you are going to cook when. And the meal planning guide that I have, it asks little prompts about will you have meal leftovers? And then even at the bottom of the day, you can list out which ingredient leftovers you had. And that way, as you get towards the end of the week, you may be able to cook a whole meal based off of the leftovers of other things that you've been working, cooking through that week. And so Friday or Saturday, that's where catch-all meals can sometimes be a great options. Or it can help inspire you and figure out what is that meal that I'm going to want to cook later in the week, just based off of what ingredients there will be. And that's about it. Once you have that finished, then your meal plan is done. And the next step is looking at, okay, what ingredients do I already have on hand? What do I need to buy more of? What new ingredients do I need to buy? And putting that in a shopping list and getting to the grocery store. So if you enjoy meal planning, but you want to be more consistent with it, then join me next time. Next time will be Sunday, like a 9 days away Sunday, for a meal planning club. And let me know in the comments what you think the best day and time of the week would be to do meal planning club together. If you like the idea of this, but you need more one-on-one help, like if it still feels kind of overwhelming and you just really would like more like individual help, I do that too. So if you go to the description box, there is a link to work with me one-on-one for meal planning. So if that's something you're interested, the link is in the description box. And if you're in the Denver area and you enjoy meal planning, but you hate the grocery shopping part, I do grocery delivery. And part of helping my clients with grocery delivery is also giving them meal ideas and helping them meal plan if they want to. So if you, even though you hate meal planning, if for some reason you're watching this video and you're in the Denver area, I can help you with that too. And you can just head to the link in the description and that will get you to my website where you can find out more information with that too. So I think that that's it, guys. Hopefully if you've been following along, you have your meal plan worked out for the week. And I hope that you enjoy Meal Planning Club. And I hope to see you back next Sunday. I should probably know, Sunday the 23rd. Next Sunday the 23rd. Look forward to seeing you all then. Thank you so much, Chefeteers. Thank you for watching. I never know how to end these videos very well. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Chefeteers. Bye.